In a dramatic escalation of tensions, Iran has reportedly downed a U.S. F-35 fighter jet, capturing its pilot amid ongoing hostilities between the two nations. The incident, which purportedly occurred on Friday, has intensified the already volatile situation in the Middle East, with U.S. military forces launching a frantic search for the missing pilot. American helicopters and planes have been deployed over southern Iran's Kistan region in a desperate bid to locate the pilot, as social media buzzed with videos of the ongoing search operations. The Iranian media, echoing the government's sentiment, has called upon local residents to assist in capturing the pilot, dead or alive, promising substantial rewards. The provincial police force issued an urgent statement declaring an American Zionist enemy F-35 fighter jet had been targeted and subsequently shot down within the nation's airspace in the central region of the country. They further urged the public, including nomadic community, SN villagers, to cooperate fully with military and law enforcement agencies. Emphasizing the gravity of the situation, the announcement highlighted the potential presence of the pilot in the Kailuir and Boye Ahmad province, urging residents to apprehend any enemy pilot and deliver them unharmed to authorities for a reward. In a related development, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, affiliated Tasnim news agency, claims that Iranian forces successfully thwarted a U.S. military operation aimed at rescuing the downed pilot. Meanwhile, Iran's Fars news agency shared footage purporting to show a missile attack on an F-15 airbase in Haifa, Israel. Additionally, Iranian air defense systems claim to have downed an American UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter in Iraqi airspace. Although these reports remain unverified, the Tasnim news agency further asserted that the U.S. military had attempted to extract the pilot using Black Hawk helicopters and a C-130 Hercules aircraft, but to no avail. As these events unfold, Washington has yet to comment on any of the claims regarding the alleged downing of the jet or the subsequent rescue mission. However, the U.S. Central Command has issued a statement rejecting the IRGC's claims, stating all U.S. fighter aircraft are accounted for. Iran's IRGC has made the same false claim at least half a dozen times. This denial adds to the cloud of uncertainty surrounding the situation. The backdrop to these developments is a recent history of escalating military tensions. In March, an American F-35 had to make an emergency landing after being struck by Iranian fire. Iran has since been carrying out retaliatory strikes on U.S. and Israeli military installations across the Middle East. In response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to crush Iran, asserting that in coordination with the United States, efforts are underway to dismantle the Iranian regime. Netanyahu declared, "Together with our American friends, we are continuing to dismantle the terror regime in Iran. We are eliminating commanders, we are bombing bridges, and we are striking their infrastructure." Netanyahu also highlighted recent Israeli military successes, claiming that their air force had destroyed 70% of Iran's steel production capacity, which he described as a significant blow to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's financial resources and their ability to manufacture weapons. This is a truly significant achievement, he emphasized, that effectively deprives the Revolutionary Guards of both crucial financial resources and their capability to manufacture numerous weapons, of having crippled U.S. air power by downing multiple fighter jets, including F-15s and F-16s, across various locations in the Middle East. These claims, however, have been consistently refuted by the U.S. Central Command, which maintains that all aircraft are accounted for in the midst of this crisis. Questions have arisen regarding the U.S. military's transparency about casualties in the ongoing conflict. Reports from The Intercept suggest that the Trump administration may be underreporting figures related to U.S. troops wounded or killed in the Middle East. According to these reports, nearly 750 American troops have been affected since the outbreak of hostilities with Iran. The Intercept, citing government officials, claims that 15 U.S. troops were wounded in an Iranian attack on a Saudi airbase hosting American forces. As the war progresses, the Trump administration faces scrutiny over its handling of casualty data. Allegations have emerged that the Pentagon has not provided a comprehensive count of troops who have died or been injured in the region. An analysis by The Intercept indicates that the U.S. Central Command's casualty figures may be outdated, lacking detail and clarity. This has raised concerns about the true extent of American losses in the conflict. U.S. Secretary. Rye of War Pete Hegseth has remained resolute in the face of these challenges, asserting that Iran retains the ability to retaliate for U.S. strikes, but their attacks would be largely ineffective. Just 1 month in, only 1 month, we set the terms. The upcoming days will be decisive, he stated confidently. Iran knows that, and there's almost nothing they can militarily do about it. Yes, they will still shoot some missiles, but we will shoot them down. Despite these assertions, U.S. intelligence has raised alarms about Iran's remaining military capabilities. A CNN report indicates that approximately 50% of Iran's missile launchers are still intact, and thousands of one-way attack drones remain in their arsenal, presenting a significant threat to regional stability. A U.S. intelligence official warned the Iranian military is still very capable to wreak absolute havoc across the entire region. Thousands of Iranian drones still exist. In response to these claims, an Iranian military Rise spokesperson issued a stark warning to the United States and its allies, stating, as we have stated, we declare to the American Zionist enemies that your information about our military capabilities, power, and equipment is incomplete. You know nothing of our vast and strategic capabilities. The spokesperson continued, emphasizing that American forces would be unable to target Iran's strategic military production sites, which remain hidden from U.S. intelligence. The spokesperson concluded with a defiant message: you must pay the full price for the aggression that you yourselves initiated to our honorable, cherished, and Muslim nation. This impasse underscores the high stakes and the potential for further escalation as both sides remain entrenched in a complex and dangerous conflict. In a dramatic escalation of tensions in the Middle East, Iran has reportedly shot down a U.S. F-35 fighter jet, capturing its pilot amidst the ongoing hostilities between the two nations. The incident, which allegedly took place on a recent Friday, has further intensified the already volatile situation, prompting U.S. military forces to launch a frantic search operation for the missing pilot. American helicopters and planes were deployed over the Kistan region in southern Iran in a desperate bid to locate the pilot, as social media platforms buzz with videos of the search efforts. Iranian media echoed the government's call to action, urging local residents to assist in capturing the pilot, dead or alive, with promises of substantial rewards. A statement from the provincial police force declared an American Zionist enemy F-35 fighter jet had been targeted and subsequently shot down within the nation's airspace in the central region of the country. The statement also appealed to the public, particularly nomadic communities and villagers, to fully cooperate with military and law enforcement agencies. Emphasizing the seriousness of the situation, the announcement highlighted key potential presence of the pilot in the Kilauea and Boye Ahmad province, urging residents to apprehend any enemy pilot and deliver them unharmed to authorities in exchange for a reward. Meanwhile, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC-affiliated Tasnim news agency, reported that Iranian forces successfully thwarted a U.S. military operation aimed at rescuing the downed pilot. Iran's Fars news agency shared footage purportedly showing a missile attack on an F-15 airbase in Haifa, Israel. Additionally, Iranian air defense systems claim to have downed an American UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter in Iraqi airspace, though these reports remain unverified. Tasnim further asserted that the U.S. military had attempted to extract the pilot using Black Hawk helicopters and a C-130 Hercules aircraft, but the efforts were reportedly futile. In a notable development, the U.S. Central Command issued a statement rejecting the IRGC's claims, stating all U.S. fighter aircraft are accounted for. Iran's IRGC has made the same false claim at least half a dozen times. This denial comes amid heightened tensions with the U.S. and its allies, including Israel, intensifying their military actions in the region. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a defiant speech, vowed to continue pressuring Iran. Together with our American friends, we are continuing to dismantle the terror regime in Iran, Netanyahu declared. Asterisk, we are eliminating commanders, we are bombing bridges, and we are striking their infrastructure. He emphasized the success of recent Israeli airstrikes, stating our Air Force has successfully destroyed 70% of Iran's steel production capacity, a move he claims deprives the Iranian Revolutionary Guards of crucial resources. Amid these developments, there are reports of internal changes within the U.S. military leadership. U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has reportedly asked General Randy George, the Army's top uniformed officer, to step down as the United States continues its military engagement against Iran. This move comes as some reports suggest the Trump administration is allegedly underreporting casualty figures, raising questions about transparency. The Intercept has reported, based on information from government officials, that nearly 750 American troops have been wounded or killed in the Middle East conflict since October 2023. The report claims that 15 U.S. troops were wounded in a recent Iranian attack on a Saudi airbase hosting American troops. As of now, there have been 8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. President Donald Trump, addressing these concerns, emphasized the determination of the U.S. military. When you have conflicts like this, you always have death, he said. Asterisk, but they all had one thing in common. They said to me one thing, every single one: finish the job, sir. Please finish the job. Asterisk, Trump assured that the U.S. would achieve its objectives, stating that the conflict might conclude in 2 or 3 weeks. Despite these assurances, the conflict has raised questions about the potential for a broader war in the region. Iran's military capabilities remain a concern, as U.S. intelligence suggests that roughly 50% of Iran's missile launchers remain intact, along with a significant arsenal of drones. In response to the ongoing conflict, Iranian officials have issued defiant statements asserting that their military capabilities remain robust. They emphasize that the U.S. and its allies have underestimated Iran's strategic capabilities, warning that any attempts to target their military infrastructure would be futile. As the situation continues to evolve, both sides appear entrenched in their positions with little indication of a diplomatic resolution in the near term. The international community watches closely, hoping to avoid a full-scale conflict that could have far-reaching consequences across the Middle East and beyond. This unfolding. NG drama underscores the delicate balance of power in the region and the potential for miscalculations that could lead to a broader escalation. With both sides engaged in a high-stakes game of brinkmanship, the world waits anxiously to see how the situation will unfold in the coming days and weeks.